Hello and welcome back. Another edition of me. You know who I am, probably. If you don't, then what the fuck are you doing here? Ah, hell. So, things and stuff and things have been happening, of course, over time. That's what happens to people, of course. Why am I holding a pen? Fuck, I don't know. Drinking. Oh, might have a fucking bad cut for refill. Hey, I finally figured out how to do that. Maybe, just maybe, if you're lucky, and if I like your face, which I don't, I might actually do that for you. But I doubt it, because I really don't. Happens. So what's new and exciting and different? Nothing. But I can still talk about it as though it is exciting and that you may try to care about it. For example, my buddy Marshall, he decided to have another canoeing trip down the North Saskatchewan River, down by Nordegg, and 2 years ago when I went on this trip with him, we went from Nordegg to Big Rock to Saunders, and in that time, just on the way to Big Rock, which was about a 13-kilometer, not hike because we're canoeing down the river, it was a canoeing trip. That 13 kilometers down the river in a canoe, I decided to, no, not necessarily decided, I was the victim of dumping into the river twice. And since I had no prior knowledge to how dangerous water was, no, that's not appropriate, what preparations I should have had appropriately for this trip, I lost about $2,500 worth of electronics, which kind of sucked. I hope I never talked about this before. If I did, fuck you. You're going to hear it again. And so I ended up losing my camcorder, digital camera, glasses. I have $2,500 worth of electronics. I include a few things that are not electronics, like the tripod for the electronics and shit. Just stay calm. I'll get to the point. Fuck! How impatient. And so he had invited me to come out to Nordegg again and try this as well. And this time, I was prepared. I went out and bought myself a 60-liter Hooligan barrel, which is completely waterproof. I bought myself a waterproof case for small electronics, for example, my cell phone. So if and when, sorry, I fucked that up, people would dunk in the river. As we were going along, the Botel brothers, Joel and Jason, they decided to take a dunk in the river. We stopped along the shoreline to wait for everyone to organize their shit for them to fucking pump out their canoe out, pump all the water out of the canoe. And then I would, be on the beach, and I was a little psychotic about my electronics, losing a extensive amount of them the first time around. You become very protective of the shit that you care about. As should anybody be protective of the shit that they care about. So I had my life jacket on with my digital camera, which is waterproof, connected to a zipper, which was quite annoying because it was so heavy that I kept unzipping my life jacket. So if we ever did end up in the drink at any time, which we didn't, spoiler, I imagine my life jacket would float away from me as I would sink to the bottom of the river and bounce off rocks and then end up on the shore dead, where the wolves and coyotes would immediately congregate to eat my corpse, because I'm delicious. And luckily enough, that never happened. So I had my digital camera, my life jacket, and then I had my protective waterproof case for my precious electronics, like my cell phone, my camcorder, the things that I did not want to be exposed to the elements. And I had that carabinered right to my life jacket. I had hooked right on there. So if anything happened, those fucking things would not leave my side. Literally, they would be... it was attached to me the entire time. except my hooligan barrel, which went into Jeff and the other Joel's canoe, which they didn't dunk either. Out of the 4 canoes and 1 kayak, 2 of the canoes dunked, which was Marshall and Rennie, and the other was the Botel brothers. And it was kind of funny, as I was sitting on shore, having full 3G access. I say 4G sometimes because my phone claims it has 4G access, but the coverage in Alberta is fucking... Well, the only real 4G LTE coverage that we have in Alberta right now is in Calgary. That's it. There's no other 4G LTE coverage. Where my phone's like, oh, totally, I got 4G access right now. You're fucking lying to me, because there is none here. That would be awesome to have 75 megabit fucking data rate right now, but unfortunately, it's not a possibility. Soon. That's why I got the phone. Soon. It's a Xperia Ion, just in case you're wondering. And if you weren't wondering, fuck you. Because it's an awesome phone. It's better than yours. Even if you got an iPhone 4S, it's better than yours. And that is what I'm going to talk about for my phone, for boasting. So, we ended up... Marshall's plan for his trip, his canoeing trip down the river, the 3rd, as he called it, because he went last year, and of course I would have nothing to do with it because I was totally scarred because of it. But he had informed me earlier this year about it, and I'm like, fuck totally, man. I'm going to face my demons. I'm going to be prepared this time. I ain't going to fucking lose shit. So his plan was that we meet up at 10 a.m. and that we leave Edmonton at that time. So I show up at 9:30 at the place where we're supposed to be congregating, and no one's there. I'm like, well, where the fuck is everybody? So I text Marshall, and then I phone Marshall. I'm like, where the fuck are you? That's my sign for my phone, because that's kind of how I hold it when I'm yelling at somebody. And he's like, no, we're not there. Obviously, you asshole. And so he's like, oh, you're early anyway. So he finally shows up at Joel Pumple? Yeah, because his name looked like Pimple on the fucking thing. Wow, this is boring, isn't it? I'm sorry. Okay, gotta speed this up. We got to Nordegg. They lost their way. We got drunk. We got on the river. No one dunked. We got the big rock. Took a big shit. Awesome time. Then we left the next morning, afternoon, about noon. Got to, took 8 hours on the river. Got sunburned completely on my right-hand side, which I think I'm still recovering from a little bit. And then, yeah. Hijinks ensued. Wow, this went to shit quickly, didn't it? Yeah.